The USS Defiance moved slowly through space toward the massive station called Harmony Point. Captain Maya Rodriguez stood on the bridge looking at the view screen. The station was huge and shaped like a flower with many arms reaching out into space. Ships from all over the galaxy were docked there. This was the biggest meeting between different alien races in over 100 years. Maya felt nervous but tried not to show it. This was humanity's first real chance to join the Galactic Council. Earth had been alone for so long, and now they finally had a seat at the big table. She looked around at her crew. Lieutenant Commander Kate Sullivan was checking the ship's engines. Dr. Lisa Park was reading about alien medicine on her tablet. Commander Amy Brooks watched the weapon systems. Ensign Chloe Wright listened to radio signals from other ships. The ship also carried two very special passengers. Lyralai Starweaver was an elf diplomat from the Silverleaf Coalition. She was tall and beautiful, with long silver hair and pointed ears. Her friend Elindra Moonwhisper was shorter but looked like a warrior. She carried a sword that seemed to glow with its own light. The elves had agreed to help humans learn about galactic politics. Maya walked over to where the elves were, standing. Lyralai was watching the station with wide eyes. She had never seen so many different ships in one place. There were long, snake-like vessels from the Saurian Empire, round crystal ships from the Nexus Collective, bug-like ships with many arms from the Hive Worlds. "It is beautiful," Lyralai said in her musical voice. "So many races coming together. In peace." Elindra looked more worried. "Too many ships with weapons," she said quietly. "This feels like a trap." Maya nodded. She had the same feeling but hoped she was wrong. The meeting was supposed to discuss trade routes and peaceful exploration. Earth wanted to show they could be trusted partners. The station gave them permission to dock. Kate Sullivan guided the ship to its assigned spot with careful hands. The docking went smooth, and soon they were connected to the station. Maya put on her best uniform and checked herself in the mirror. Today would change everything for humanity. The group walked through the station's long hallways. Maya had never seen anything like it. The walls were made of some kind of metal that changed colors. Aliens of every shape and size walked past them. Some looked almost human. Others were so strange that Maya could not figure out which end was the head. They reached the main meeting room. It was enormous, with a dome ceiling that showed the stars outside. Hundreds of seats were arranged in circles. Each section was for a different race. The human section was small and near the back. This made Maya feel like Earth was not very important to the other races. Admiral Zix Ara from the Saurian Empire was already there. She was 8 feet tall, with green scales and yellow eyes like a snake. Her teeth were sharp, and she smiled in a way that did not look friendly. Next to her sat Veltana from the Nexus Collective. She looked like she was made of living crystal, and her body sparkled with different colors. The meeting started with boring speeches about trade and exploration rights. Maya listened, but noticed that many aliens kept looking at the human section. Their looks were not friendly. Some whispered to each other and pointed. Maya began to feel that something was very wrong. Lyralai leaned over and whispered, "The Saurian Admiral keeps staring at us. She looks angry." Maya nodded. She had noticed the same thing. Admiral Zix Ara's yellow eyes never left the human group for long. It was like she was studying them for weaknesses. The meeting continued for hours. Finally, it was time for the humans to speak. Maya stood up and walked to the center of the room. She began to talk about Earth's hopes for peace and friendship with all races. She spoke about sharing knowledge and working together to explore the galaxy. But as she talked, Maya noticed something terrible. Many of the aliens were not listening to her words. Instead, they were quietly moving toward the exits. Their hands were near their weapons. Admiral Zixara was making small signals to other aliens with her clawed fingers. Maya's heart began to beat fast. This was not a diplomatic meeting. This was a trap. The aliens had planned this from the beginning. They wanted to get all the humans in one place where they could be destroyed. She finished her speech quickly and walked back to her seat. "We need to leave now," she whispered to her crew. "This is a trap." But it was too late. Admiral Zixara stood up and her voice boomed across the room. "The humans are a threat to galactic peace," she announced. "They are violent and dangerous. They must be stopped before they bring war to our peaceful galaxy." Suddenly, alarms began ringing throughout the station. Maya heard explosions from the direction of the docking bays. They were attacking the human ship. Red lights flashed and the station shook from weapons fire. "Run!" Maya shouted to her people. They jumped up from their seats and rushed toward the exit, but alien security forces were already blocking the doors. They had weapons pointed at the humans and elves. Elindra pulled out her glowing sword. "Stay behind me," she said. The weapon cut through the alien weapons like they were made of paper. Lyrelei raised her hands and spoke words in the elf language. Suddenly the lights went out and the room filled with thick fog. In the darkness and confusion, Maya led her group through a side door. They ran through the station's hallways as explosions shook the walls around them. Other aliens were shooting at them, but the fog from Lyrelei's magic made it hard to see. They reached the docking bay to find their ship under heavy attack. Kate Sullivan was already there, trying to start the engines. "The ship is damaged, but—" "She'll fly!" Kate shouted over the noise of battle. Maya looked back at the station as her ship pulled away. She could see alien ships chasing them. The trap had failed, but now they were alone in space with enemies all around them. The galaxy had shown its true face, and it was not friendly to humans. The USS Defiance limped away from Harmony Point with sparks flying from its damaged hull. Behind them, the alien fleet was getting ready to hunt them down. Maya knew this was just the beginning of a very dangerous journey. The USS Defiance raced through space as fast as its damaged engines could carry it. Behind them, a fleet of alien warships was getting closer every hour. Captain Maya Rodriguez sat in her command chair, watching the enemy ships on the screen. There were more than 50 vessels chasing them, and more were joining the hunt. Kate Sullivan worked frantically in the engine room. Sparks flew from broken panels and steam hissed from damaged pipes. The ship was hurt badly, but Kate refused to give up. She crawled through tight spaces, fixing what she could with her bare hands. Sweat dripped from her face as she welded broken parts back together. "How long until they catch us?" Maya asked Amy Brooks. Amy looked at her weapons display with worried eyes. "At this speed, maybe 6 hours. Their ships are faster than ours." Dr. Lisa Park was in the medical bay treating wounded crew members. During the escape from Harmony Point, several people had been hurt by falling debris. She worked quickly to help them while the ship shook from engine problems. In the corner of the room sat 3 alien passengers who had chosen to stay with the humans instead of joining the attack. One was a blue-skinned woman named Kira from a planet called Velos. She had been a translator at the meeting and saw everything that happened. Another was an old alien with 4 arms called Dex from the mining guild. The third was a young creature that looked like a walking tree named Bloom from the Garden Worlds. "Why did they attack us?" Kira asked Dr. Lisa. "Humans seemed peaceful at the meeting." Lisa bandaged a cut on a crew member's arm while she thought about the question. "I think they were afraid of us. Sometimes when people are scared, they do terrible things." In the main corridor, Lyrelei and Elindra were talking with Ensign Chloe Wright. Lyrelei's silver hair was dirty from the escape, but her eyes still glowed with inner light. She was trying to understand why the aliens had betrayed the peace meeting. "My people always believed the Galactic Council wanted peace," Lyrelei said, sadly. "We were wrong." Elindra cleaned her glowing sword with careful movements. "The Saurian Admiral planned this for a long time. She had too many ships ready too quickly." Chloe was listening to alien radio signals on her equipment. Most of the messages were in languages she did not understand, but some she could figure out. "They're telling everyone that we attacked first. They say humans are violent monsters who want to destroy peaceful worlds." Maya walked over to join their conversation. The weight of command felt heavy on her shoulders. Her decision to flee the station had saved their lives, but now her ship was being hunted across the galaxy like criminals. "Can you send our own messages?" Maya asked Chloe. "Tell our side of the story." Chloe shook her head. "They're jamming most frequencies. But I might be able to reach some independent worlds if we get closer to them." Kate's voice came over the ship's speakers. "Captain, I need you in engineering. We have a big problem." Maya hurried down to the engine room. Kate was standing next to the main power core, looking very worried. The crystal that powered their ship was cracked and leaking energy. Without it, they would be dead in space. "How long do we have?" Maya asked. "Maybe 12 hours before complete failure. And that's if nothing else breaks." Kate said while wiping oil from her hands. Maya felt her heart sink. They were being chased by a fleet of warships, and their ship was falling apart. But she had not survived this long by giving up when things looked bad. "What do you need to fix it?" she asked. Kate pointed to the damaged crystal. "A replacement power core or some way to seal the cracks. But we don't have either." Lyreley appeared in the doorway. She had been listening to their conversation. "May I see the damaged crystal?" she asked politely. Kate showed her the power core. Lyreley studied it with her strange elf eyes that seemed to see more than human eyes could. She reached out and touched the crystal gently with her fingers. "This is similar to the power stones my people use for our magic," she said. "Perhaps I can help repair it." Kate looked doubtful. "This is advanced technology, not magic." Lyreley smiled. "Sometimes they are the same thing." She placed both hands on the cracked crystal and began to speak in the elf language. Her hands started to glow with soft silver light. Slowly, the cracks in the crystal began to close. The dangerous energy leak stopped, and the power core hummed with renewed strength. Kate stared in amazement. "How did you do that?" "Elven magic works with natural forces," Lyreley explained. "Your crystal wanted to be whole again. I just helped it remember how." Maya felt hope returning. With the power core fixed, they could run faster and longer, but they still needed a plan to escape the alien fleet. Amy Brooks called from the bridge. "Captain, we have a problem. 3 alien ships have moved ahead of us. They're trying to trap us between 2 groups." Maya rushed back to the bridge. On the screen, she could see the alien ships moving to surround them. It was a classic hunting pattern. Soon, they would be caught between 2 groups of enemies with nowhere to run. "Take us into that asteroid field," Maya ordered. "Maybe we can lose them in there." Amy looked nervous. "Captain, that field is very dangerous. Our damaged ship might not survive it. We definitely won't survive if they catch us," Maya replied. The USS Defiance dove into the asteroid field. Huge rocks floated everywhere like mountains in space. Some were bigger than their ship. Kate pushed the engines to maximum power while Amy used the weapons to blast smaller rocks out of their way. The alien ships followed them into the field, but they were not as skilled at flying through dangerous areas. 2 of the smaller vessels crashed into asteroids and exploded. The others had to slow down to avoid the same fate. For several hours, they played a deadly game of hide-and-seek among the floating rocks. The USS Defiance was smaller than most of the alien ships which helped them hide behind asteroids. But their damaged hull was making noise that the enemy could track. Dex, the 4-armed alien from the mining guild, came to the bridge. "Captain, I know this asteroid field. There are old mining tunnels inside the big asteroids. We could hide there." Maya looked at the alien passenger with new interest. "You've been here before." "My people mined here for 50 years before the rocks ran out of valuable metals. I know where the hidden passages are." Maya made a quick decision. "Show us the way." Dex pointed to a massive asteroid that looked like all the others, but he knew there was a secret entrance hidden on its dark side. Kate flew the ship carefully through a narrow opening that led into a tunnel inside the rock. The tunnel was just wide enough for their ship. They flew deep into the asteroid until they reached a large hollow space where miners used to work. Kate shut down the engines and turned off all lights. In the darkness, they waited and listened. Outside, they could hear the alien ships searching for them. The enemy vessels called to each other as they looked behind every rock, but they did not know about the hidden mining tunnels. After several hours, the alien ships gave up and left to search other areas. Maya allowed herself to relax for the first time since the attack. They were safe for now, but this was just the beginning. The alien coalition would never stop hunting them. She looked around at her crew and passengers. Humans, elves, and aliens, all working together against a common enemy. "What do we do now, Captain?" Amy asked. Maya stood up from her chair with determination in her eyes. "Now we fight back." Inside the hollow asteroid, the USS Defiance sat in darkness while its crew planned their next move. Captain Maya Rodriguez gathered everyone in the main meeting room. Her human crew sat alongside their alien passengers and the 2 elves. For the first time since the attack, they had time to really talk. Dr. Lisa Park had been learning about their alien guests. Kira from planet Velos had blue skin and could speak 12 different languages. Dex from the mining guild had 4 strong arms. and knew every asteroid field in 3-star systems. Bloom looked like a walking tree and could sense emotions from other living things. "Tell us what you saw at the meeting," Maya said to Kira. "You were there as a translator. Did you hear them planning the attack?" Kira's blue face showed anger as she remembered. "Admiral Zixara and her allies met in secret 2 days before. They said humans were too dangerous to be allowed into the galaxy. They said your people were violent and would bring war." Lyrelai looked confused. "But humans seemed peaceful at the meeting. Why would they think you are violent?" Dr. Lisa spoke up. "Maybe they studied our history. Humans have fought many wars on Earth." Dex made a rumbling sound that might have been laughter. "All races fight wars. The Saurians conquered 12 worlds in the last century. The Nexus Collective destroys any world that won't join them. They are worse than anything humans have done." Alindra was cleaning her sword again. "They fear humans because you are different. Most races in the galaxy are old and set in their ways. Humans adapt quickly and learn fast. That scares them." Kate. Sullivan came up from the engine room with good news. "The repairs are holding. Between my engineering and Lyrelai's magic, we've actually improved the ship. Our engines are running better than before." This gave Maya an idea. "Kate, what if we combined human technology with elven magic in other ways? Could we make weapons they haven't seen before?" Kate's eyes lit up with excitement. "Maybe. Lyrelai, what else can your magic do?" Lyrelai thought carefully before answering. "Elven magic works with energy and matter. I can shape metal, make things stronger, or change how energy flows. But I have never tried to combine it with your technology." They spent the next few hours experimenting. Kate showed Lyrelai how human weapons worked while the elf explained the principles of magic. Slowly, they began to understand each other's knowledge. Bloom, the tree-like alien, watched their work with interest. "Your cooperation creates harmony. I can feel the balance forming between your different abilities." Meanwhile, Chloe Wright had been working on the communication systems. She had found a way to send secret messages through some old mining equipment that Dex knew about. The messages were weak, but they could reach other systems. "I've been sending our side of the story to independent worlds," Chloe reported. "Some are starting to believe us. A few have sent back messages of support." Amy Brooks studied the tactical situation on her screen. "The alien fleet is still hunting for us, but they've spread out. If we could attack one small group, we might capture their ship and learn their plans." Maya liked this idea. "We need information about how big this conspiracy is. Do other races support the attack or just the Saurians and their close allies?" Dr. Lisa had been talking with their alien passengers about galactic politics. "According to Kira and Dex, many races are unhappy with the current council leadership. The Saurians and Nexus Collective control most decisions. Smaller races have no real voice." This was important information. Maya began to see that the attack on humans was part of a bigger problem. The galaxy was not as peaceful as it seemed. Powerful races bullied weaker ones, and anyone who might challenge them was destroyed. Kate and Lyrelai finished their first weapon experiment. They had modified a human energy rifle with elven magic. When Kate tested it, the beam was twice as powerful as before and could change direction in flight. "This is incredible," Kate said with excitement. "The magic makes the energy more flexible. We could hit targets around corners." They quickly modified more weapons and shield systems. Each improvement made their ship more dangerous. But Maya knew they needed more than better weapons to survive. They needed allies. Dex used his knowledge of mining routes to guide them to a secret meeting place. It was an old refinery station that had been abandoned for years. But when they arrived, they found 3 other ships already waiting. The ships belonged to races that were tired of Saurian control. One was from the Velos system where Kira came from. Another represented several mining worlds like Dex's people. The third was a scientific vessel from an advanced race that valued knowledge over war. Maya put on her best uniform and prepared to meet with these potential allies. This was her chance to turn the hunt around. Instead of running, they could start building a resistance movement. The meeting took place on the old station. Maya brought Kate, Lyrelai, and Amy with her, while the others stayed to guard the ship. The alien representatives were curious about humans, but also worried about getting involved in a war. "We heard about the attack at Harmony Point," said the Velos ambassador. "Our people are angry that the council broke the rules of diplomatic immunity." The mining representative was more direct. The Saurians take our resources and give us nothing. In return, we would like to see them stopped. But the scientific representative was cautious. Fighting the Council could bring destruction to all our worlds. How do we know humans are worth such a risk? Maya knew this was her most important speech ever. She talked about human values of freedom and cooperation. She explained how humans had overcome their own wars to build a peaceful society on Earth. She promised that humans wanted to be partners, not conquerors. But the aliens still seemed doubtful until Kate and Lyrelei demonstrated their hybrid weapons. The combination of human technology and elven magic amazed everyone. They had never seen anything like it. "This could change everything," whispered the scientific representative. "New possibilities for defense and exploration." Lyrelei spoke up. "My people have been neutral for too long. Elves should help fight against oppression. I offer our knowledge to this alliance." By the end of the meeting, they had the beginning of a real alliance. The Velos system agreed to provide ships and supplies. The mining worlds would give them places to hide and repair. The scientific race would share their advanced knowledge. But as they prepared to leave the station, Chloe detected enemy ships approaching fast. Someone had betrayed the meeting location to the Saurians. Admiral Zix-Ara herself was leading a large fleet toward them. "All ships scatter," Maya ordered over the radio. "Use different escape routes and meet at the backup location." The USS Defiance raced away from the station as it exploded behind them. Saurian ships fired their weapons trying to stop the fleeing vessels, but the rebel ships had planned their escape routes carefully, and most got away safely. Maya realized that they now had something more dangerous than weapons or allies. They had hope. Word was spreading across the galaxy that someone was finally standing up to the Council's bullying. Oppressed races were starting to believe that change was possible. Admiral Zix-Ara's voice came over their radio. "Surrender now, humans, and we will make your deaths quick. Continue running, and we will hunt you to the edge of the galaxy." Maya picked up the microphone and spoke back with steel in her voice. "We're not running anymore, Admiral. We're coming for you." The hunt was about to become a war. The Rebel Alliance grew stronger every day. Ships from dozens of worlds joined the fight against the Galactic Council. The USS Defiance had become the flagship of a movement that was spreading across the galaxy. Captain Maya Rodriguez now commanded not just her own crew, but a fleet of freedom fighters. Their hidden base was located in an ancient nebula where sensor readings were useless. Kate Sullivan had worked with engineers from 6 different races to build repair facilities inside floating asteroids. Lyrelei and other elven mages had arrived to help combine magic with technology from various worlds. Dr. Lisa Park ran a medical center that treated wounded fighters from the growing war. She had learned to heal alien injuries that human doctors had never seen before. Her work brought together medical knowledge from dozens of races, creating new ways to save lives. But Maya knew they needed more than ships and weapons to win. They needed information about their enemy. Chloe Wright had been intercepting Saurian communications for weeks, trying to understand the Council's real plans. "Captain, I've found something important," Chloe said as she brought encrypted files to Maya's office. "The attack on humans wasn't random. The Council has done this before to other races." Maya studied the decoded messages with growing horror. Over the past 2 centuries, the Galactic Council had systematically destroyed or enslaved any race that showed signs of becoming too powerful. Dozens of civilizations had been wiped out completely. They call it the Stability Protocol, Chloe explained. Whenever a young race develops dangerous technology or shows too much independence, the Council eliminates them. They say it's to preserve galactic peace. Amy Brooks joined them to review the intelligence data. According to these files, they've been planning to attack humans for 5 years, ever since we developed faster-than-light travel. Maya felt sick as she read the reports. The Council had studied human military history and decided that humans were too aggressive to be allowed to spread across the galaxy. They were especially afraid of human adaptability and refusal to surrender, even when facing impossible odds. But the most shocking discovery came when Lyrelei brought ancient elven records to compare with the Council files. Her people had been keeping histories for thousands of years that told a very different story about galactic civilization. "Captain, these records speak of elder races that built the first galactic civilization," Lyrelei said as she spread old scrolls across the table. "They created wonders that we can barely imagine. Great cities that floated between stars and technology that could reshape matter itself." Dr. Lisa looked at the ancient writings with fascination. What happened to them? Lyralay's expression was grave. According to our histories, they were destroyed by their own children, younger races who grew jealous of their power and wanted to rule the galaxy themselves. Maya began to understand the horrible truth. The current Galactic Council isn't the first one. They destroyed the previous civilization, and now they're doing the same thing to prevent anyone from challenging them. Dex, the mining alien, had been listening to their conversation. His four arms gestured angrily as he spoke. My people have legends about the old ones who built the first star roads. The Council has been hiding evidence of their existence for millennia. This revelation changed everything. The Rebel Alliance wasn't just fighting for freedom from oppression. They were fighting to prevent the Council from destroying galactic civilization itself. Every time a new race showed potential, the Council eliminated them to maintain their power. Kate had been working with alien engineers to study captured Council technology. Their weapons and ships aren't actually their own designs, she reported. Most of it is stolen technology from races they've destroyed over the centuries. Maya called a meeting of all Alliance leaders. Representatives from 30 worlds gathered in the nebula to hear the shocking truth about galactic history. The evidence was overwhelming, and the reaction was explosive. The Velos ambassador stood up with rage in her blue eyes. They told us the Kalari were destroyed by a plague, but these files show the Council poisoned their atmosphere when they developed genetic healing technology. Others shared similar stories. Every Alliance member had lost friends or family to what they thought were natural disasters or accidents. Now they learned these were deliberate attacks by the Council to prevent competition. But the most important discovery came when Bloom, the tree-like alien, shared information from the Garden worlds. Her people were connected to all plant life in the galaxy and had memories going back millions of years. The life energy of destroyed worlds still cries out in pain, Bloom said in her whispering voice. Thousands of civilizations have been murdered by those who call themselves Guardians of Peace. Maya realized they now had something more powerful than weapons. They had the truth. If this information spread across the galaxy, every oppressed race would join their rebellion. The Council's lies would be exposed and their support would crumble. Chloe immediately began broadcasting the evidence on every frequency she could reach. The truth spread from world to world, faster than the Council could stop it. Within days, spontaneous uprisings began on dozens of planets. Admiral Zixara responded with increased violence. Council fleets attacked civilian targets trying to terrorize the rebellious worlds back into submission. But this only made more races angry and willing to fight. The war reached a turning point when the Silverleaf Coalition officially joined the Alliance. Lyralay's people brought not just their magical knowledge, but also thousands of years of hidden history. They revealed the locations of ancient elder ruins that contained advanced technology. Maya led an expedition to the nearest elder site. It was located on a dead world that the Council claimed was destroyed by solar radiation. But when they arrived, they found a perfectly preserved city floating in a crystal dome. The elder technology was beyond anything the galaxy had seen for millennia. Weapons that could disable entire fleets without destroying them. Shields that could protect whole planets. Most importantly, they found historical records that proved the Council's crimes going back 2,000 years. Kate worked frantically to understand the Elder systems. This technology could end the war in days, she told Maya. But it's so advanced, I'm not sure we can control it safely. Lyralay studied the Elder writings with her magical senses. The old ones built safeguards into their technology. It can only be used by those who seek to protect life, not destroy it. The Council could never activate these systems because their hearts are filled with hate. Dr. Lisa made an even more important discovery in the Elder medical facilities. They didn't just build weapons and shields, she said with excitement. They created healing technology that could restore worlds damaged by war. We could fix the environmental damage the Council has caused. Maya stood in the center of the ancient city, feeling the weight of history around her. The Elder race had been destroyed by the ancestors of the current Council, but their legacy lived on. Now humans and their allies had the chance to restore the galaxy to what it was meant to be. But first they had to survive the Council's final desperate attack. Admiral Zixara was gathering every ship in the galaxy for one massive assault on the rebel base. She knew that if the truth continued to spread, her empire would fall. Maya looked at her diverse crew and allies. Humans, elves, and dozens of alien races working together as the elder races had once dreamed. They had the weapons and knowledge to win, but the real battle would be for the soul of galactic civilization. The final confrontation was coming, and the future of every world hung in the balance. The greatest space battle in galactic history was about to begin. Admiral Zixara had gathered over 3,000 ships from across the Council's empire. Her massive fleet moved through space like a dark cloud, bringing death to anyone who opposed the old order. But waiting for them in the ancient nebula was something she had never expected. Captain Maya Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the USS Defiance, watching the enemy approach. Her ship had been transformed by elder technology and elven magic into something beyond anything the galaxy had seen. The hull glowed with protective energy and weapons that could tear through space itself. But the Defiance was not alone. Around her floated 500 rebel ships from dozens of worlds. Each vessel had been upgraded with elder technology that Kate Sullivan and alien engineers had learned to control. The rebel fleet was smaller than the Council Armada, but their ships were far more advanced. Dr. Lisa Park worked in the medical bay preparing for the wounded that would come. She had teams of healers from 20 different races ready to save lives. The elder healing technology could repair injuries that would normally be fatal, but they would still need skilled hands to use it. Lirelei stood beside Maya on the bridge. The elf's silver hair flowed around her as magical energy built up inside her body. Around the fleet, dozens of other elven mages prepared to combine their power with the ancient technology. Their magic would guide the elder weapons with precision no computer could match. Chloe Wright had taken over the communication systems for the entire rebel fleet. She was broadcasting the truth about council crimes to every world in the galaxy. Even now, more ships were arriving to join the rebellion as oppressed races finally saw hope for freedom. The two fleets faced each other across the nebula like ancient armies preparing for war. Admiral Zixara's voice echoed across space as she made her final demand for surrender. "Humans and rebel scum," her reptilian voice hissed with hatred. "You have spread lies and chaos across our peaceful galaxy. Surrender now, and we will grant you quick deaths. Continue this madness, and we will hunt down every world that supported you." Maya picked up the communication device and answered with steel in her voice. "Admiral, your empire of lies is ending today. The galaxy knows the truth about your crimes. It's time to face justice for the civilizations you've destroyed." Zixara's laughter was cold and cruel. "Truth means nothing when everyone who speaks it is dead. Attack formations advance. Show these primitives the power of the Galactic Council." The Council fleet moved forward like a tidal wave of destruction. Their ships fired thousands of energy beams that lit up space with deadly light. But when the weapons struck the rebel fleet, something impossible happened. The Elder shields absorbed the attacks and converted the energy into power for their own weapons. Maya gave the order that changed galactic history. All ships return fire. Show them what Elder technology can do. The rebel fleet unleashed weapons that had been sleeping for millennia. Beams of pure energy reached across space and touched Council ships with gentle precision. The enemy vessels simply stopped working as their systems were safely disabled. Crews found themselves floating helplessly in space, but unharmed. Admiral Zixara screamed orders at her remaining ships. "Destroy them all! Use everything we have!" But the Council's advanced weapons were useless against Elder technology. Every attack was absorbed or redirected harmlessly away. Meanwhile, the rebel ships moved through space like dancers, avoiding every shot with impossible grace. Kate Sullivan's voice came over the communication system. "Captain, the Elder weapons are incredible. They can disable whole fleets without killing a single person. We could end this war without massive bloodshed." But Maya knew that Admiral Zixara would never surrender peacefully. The reptilian commander had spent her life building an empire through fear and violence. She would rather destroy the galaxy than lose her power. That fear proved correct when long-range sensors detected Zixara's final desperate plan. The Admiral was directing her remaining ships toward populated worlds. If she could not win the battle, she would commit genocide to punish those who opposed her. She's heading for Velos Prime, Amy Brooks reported with horror. 2 million innocent people live there. Maya felt ice in her veins as she realized what the Admiral planned. Zixara would destroy entire worlds to break the rebellion's spirit. This was exactly why the elder races had hidden their technology with safeguards. Power without wisdom led to atrocities. But the safeguards worked both ways. Maya could feel the elder technology responding to her determination to protect innocent life. The ancient systems recognized someone worthy of their power. All ships pursuit course, Maya ordered. We're not letting her hurt any civilians. The chase across space became a race against time. The Council ships had a head start, but the Rebel fleet was faster with their elder technology. Lyrelai and the other mages pushed their magic to its limits, giving the ships extra speed through space. They caught up to Zixara's fleet just as it reached the Velos system. The Admiral's ships were already targeting the defenseless planet below. Maya could see the terror in the faces of her alien allies as they realized their homeworld was about to be destroyed. Target their weapons only, Maya commanded. Disable them before they can fire. The elder weapons reached out with surgical precision. Council ships found their weapon systems simply vanishing into harmless energy. But Zixara had prepared for this possibility. Her flagship carried an ancient doomsday device stolen from a civilization the Council had destroyed centuries ago. The weapon could crack a planet's core and destroy all life within hours. Admiral Zixara activated it with her own clawed hands, laughing as she prepared to commit the ultimate atrocity. But she had not counted on human determination or the bonds formed between different races fighting together. Elindra, the elf warrior, teleported directly onto the Council flagship with her glowing sword. Dr. Lisa's medical knowledge had taught the elves how to use their magic to travel through space itself. The battle aboard Zixara's ship was fierce but brief. Elindra's blade cut through Council guards, while Lyralay's magic protected her from enemy weapons. Together they reached the Doomsday device just as it began to charge. But Zixara herself stood between them and the controls. The 8-foot-tall reptilian admiral was a deadly fighter with natural weapons and centuries of combat experience. Her claws could cut through metal, and her strength was beyond human limits. The fight would have been hopeless except for one thing that Zixara had never understood. The bonds between friends make them stronger than the sum of their parts. Elindra and Lyrelai fought together with perfect coordination, while the Admiral fought alone with only hatred to drive her. In the end, it was Lyrelai's magic that ended the threat. She reached out with her power and gently turned off the Doomsday device. The weapon that could have killed millions became as harmless as a children's toy. Admiral Zixara collapsed in defeat as rebel troops secured her ship. Her empire was broken, and her crimes would finally face justice. But Maya felt no joy in victory, only relief that innocent lives had been saved. The war ended not with massive destruction, but with the Council's surrender. When their fleets saw that resistance was hopeless, most commanders chose to give up rather than die for a lost cause. Only a few diehards fought to the end, and they were quickly overwhelmed. Maya stood on the bridge of the USS Defiance as reports came in from across the galaxy. Oppressed worlds were celebrating their freedom while Council officials were being arrested for their crimes. The truth had set the galaxy free, but the real victory was not military, but moral. The Rebel Alliance had proven that different races could work together in peace. Humans, elves, and dozens of alien species had combined their strengths to create something greater than any one group could achieve alone. Dr. Lisa's medical knowledge combined with alien healing arts to save thousands of lives. Kate's engineering skills merged with elven magic to create new technologies beyond imagination. Chloe's communications work spread hope to every corner of the galaxy. Years later, the USS Defiance still explored the galaxy, but now as protectors of peace rather than hunted fugitives. The ship had become a symbol of cooperation between all races. Maya commanded not just humans, but volunteers from dozens of worlds who wanted to serve together. The Elder Ruins were open to all races, and their technology was shared freely. Instead of being hoarded by a few powerful groups, the ancient knowledge was used to heal damaged worlds and explore new frontiers. The galaxy entered a golden age of discovery and growth. Lyrelai and Elindra remained aboard the Defiance as permanent crew members. Their friendship with the humans had grown into something deeper than politics or alliances. They were family now bound together by shared struggles and common dreams. The new Galactic Council was based on equality rather than domination. Every world had a voice regardless of size or military power. Decisions were made through cooperation, not force. The elder principles of wisdom and compassion guided policy instead of fear and greed. Admiral Zixara spent her remaining years in prison thinking about the civilization she had tried to destroy. Some said she finally understood the price of hatred, but Maya doubted it. Some people were too twisted by power to ever change, but that did not matter anymore. The galaxy had moved beyond the Council's dark age into something better. The USS Defiance continued its mission of exploration and protection, knowing that the future was bright with possibilities. Maya often stood on her bridge looking at the stars and remembering how it all began. A simple diplomatic mission that turned into the greatest adventure in galactic history. Humanity had found its place among the stars not as conquerors, but as friends to all who sought peace and freedom.